I just started this painting and I've mixed a lot of colors on the palette. I've mixed a lot of the colors I'm going to be using, and I've got my base colors of acrylic down that I've started. I'm going to work on this right side. I end up taking out that whole thing I'm working on right now, but I'm going to go through this process with you to show you that I'm just trying to figure out the lights and the darks here as I'm working along. I think as a new painter, and when you're watching painting and trying to learn as you go along, one of the things you want to learn, and I always tell my students, is to start with an acrylic underpainting. It's so important to work that all out before you start with the final oil painting. And the reason for that is you choose the lights and the darks in the painting, but you also choose a composition. And when you're working in the oil, it's much slower to dry. And I think the nice part about it is you can kind of slowly decide what you're going to be doing, rather than acrylic is so quick. So when you do the undercoating, you just sort of make rash decisions about light and dark. That's all. And then when you go back with oil painting, you can kind of make fine refinements in there of how you want to have the total composition come together. And I'm working from the photograph. It's hard to see in this video, but there's a photograph on the left that I'm working on. Sometimes when I'm working in Photoshop, when I'm picking my photographs that I'm going to work from, I can manipulate the colors a little bit so I can get an idea for color and compositions from the camera and the computer before I actually sit down at the easel, which sometimes helps as well. Oh, I'm getting my paper towel out because I'm not liking this little section. A lot of times with oil paint, it's nice. You can rub some of that off. I use a paper towel and you can rub some of it off. It almost looks like a watercolor, which is a really nice effect I like to use. And now I'm just kind of putting some light colors in, adding some background colors. The other thing is I like to do the background before I start to do the foreground when I'm working. And I used, like for this one, I used different values of blue and yellow. So it'll make it pop in certain areas that I want to draw the eye's attention to. I end up redoing that entire tree that I'm working on right now, but just to show you that, oh, I go into the foreground here. Sometimes I don't know why I pick the colors I do for the foreground, but I liked the way this was working against the kind of darker composition at the top with the blues, and then using the pinks and the reds in the front. And I'm just using different values of that pink and the red in there. I mixed a medium yellow, a medium orange, and kept mixing that with different whites and darker colors to get those different values. Again, I'm just referencing that photograph, seeing how it looks, what's working in it that I like, what I don't like, that I can kind of eliminate. And when I work from photographs, it's never a composition that's exactly like the photograph. I'm just kind of using that as a reference so I can look at, keep referring back to it for colors that I like and little areas that I might like to pick up on. Kind of adding in some darks there. And you'll notice on my hand I wear gloves. I don't like to paint without using gloves. And I usually have a window open when I'm painting, no matter how hot or cold it is, just to have some fresh air coming in. Because I use odorless mineral spirits, and it's not really that good for you. So I haven't shown in this video, but I do switch out the brushes quite a bit to do bigger blocks of color and smaller blocks of color. I think this video originally was about 20 minutes long and I chopped it down. I didn't want to bore you guys to death, but I'm going to do another video when this is almost finished so I can show you the progress. just kind of blocking in color right now, deciding what's working and what's not. It's hard to show in these videos going through everything, but you'll notice that how colors work against each other in these. You want to go light and dark and light and dark, so you constantly keep the eye moving, especially in a composition like this where it's very, very busy. And I'm just kind of blocking color in here. And I know that I'm almost done with this video, so I'll do one as I get closer to finishing this. I love some of these pink colors. I know I reworked that one tree on the right. I'm going to have to move that easel up so I can get closer to the bottom there. This composition's a little bit busy, but I may end up keeping some, I might take some of that out just because right now I'm looking at it and it feels a little too much.